My garbage person of the week will be revealed in short order. But first, to set it up, here is Larry David on Donald Trump.
How do you wrap your head around the fact that he could very well be reelected president? I mean, right now, I'd say he's the favorite.
He's such an amazing con man. He has such a gift for lying and fooling people and convincing people of something that's a complete lie.
But the point is, millions and millions and millions of Americans, more so than 3 years ago, they buy it.
They buy it. It's a testament to his conning abilities. He's the greatest con man we've ever produced. Yeah. He's such a little baby that he's thrown 250 years of democracy out the window by not accepting the results of it. I mean, it's so crazy. He's such a sociopath. He's so insane. He just couldn't admit to losing. And we know he lost. He knows he lost. And look how he's fooled everybody. He's convinced all these people that he didn't lose. He's such a sick man. He's so sick. Anyway, no, it hasn't impacted me at all.
Okay, so I don't agree with Larry David on everything, but I think he's right there in his evaluation of Donald Trump and still very funny. He is, after all, Larry David, kind of a funny guy. Now, the thing is, recently, Larry David talking about politics, involving it in his show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, the right hasn't liked that. Marjorie Greene had a meltdown on Twitter over him talking about Georgia in an episode of the show. And now that little teaser for an interview that will be running in full tonight on Max triggered a different right-wing grifter who is our garbage person of the week. Take a look.
Man, he's really lost his fastball. That's Larry David, who used to be a really funny guy. People would ask, Charlie, do you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm? I never liked Larry David. He is not the brains of the operation of Seinfeld. It was obviously Jerry or somebody else. He's a baby. He's sick. Larry David, you perfectly just showed us exactly what is going on tonight at this New York fundraiser. Tonight is essentially group therapy. Tonight is essentially $100,000, $250,000 for group therapy. Be among the other mentally deranged people in New York that live very shallow lives. You know what's really interesting is it's obvious that ever since Donald Trump came on the scene, Larry David is not as happy of a person as he once was. He's really never been that happy. I think he's an atheist. He's snarky. He's your typical kind of New York Woody Allen type that is constantly complaining and is, thinks he could be really funny. By the way, that clip, he's a baby. He's sick. He's sick. Use some different words, man. You wrote Seinfeld. You're talking like a ninth grader who had her SSRIs taken away from her. Like, come on, let's get some new vocabulary there, man.
Again, literally in the middle of critiquing a person's ability to communicate, he decides to take some of the most awkward pauses possible. And if you have a couple of minutes to utterly waste, I want you to watch that again, and I want you to zoom in on his face. I apologize if it someday is revealed that he has some sort of condition or something, but has he always been this twitchy? Has he always talked at that cadence, that pace? That was deeply weird. It was as if he was trying to play a character that was designed to make his audience as uncomfortable as possible. But I'm gonna move past that because I want your thought on the idea that he clearly had nothing to do with the success of Seinfeld, because I feel like that's not accurate slightly. I think he's kind of responsible. And also I love the many words he had to employ there to say he's like a typical New York Jewish guy. That's what he was saying there. What do you think, Brett?
Well, he is a typical New York Jewish guy. I hate to break it to everybody, but he was cast in the Woody Allen role in a Woody Allen movie. So it's fine. He didn't do a very good job, but I liked him. But here's the thing, is to say that just let's put it in terms that the Charlie Kirk and the business community can understand. According to estimates, Larry David's comedy, his ability to be funny, has made him worth $400 million. So if we're really quantifying this, and there is no comedy, there's nothing less funny empirically than someone saying that something isn't funny. Like, it's just, what are you doing? Like, you're just being a schmuck.
Yeah.
And I think that the condition that Charlie Kirk has with his face is that he's a schmeckle. He's a schmuck. He is a wiener. And it is a wiener with a tiny face in the middle.
Okay, well, to be clear, my comment was not about some sort of like physical thing. It was a behavioral thing.
Well, I think that might be
very weird. I don't know if it's.
He's gone through a lot of twitching lately. This setup that he has, it makes it less apparent, but he used to do that like I'm giving a press conference after a basketball game setup.
I found it deeply distracting.
Yeah, he's
constantly,
terrible.
Every few seconds. And I don't know what that is. Perhaps someday we'll find out. But yeah, the idea that Larry David isn't funny, I think he's going to be okay. I think I'm going to side with Larry David on Larry David's comedy.
Jason Alexander said that like it unlocked my comedy on Seinfeld, realizing that my character was Larry David.
Yes, 100%. And look, I will also, to be fair, a lot of people say that Seinfeld became terrible when Larry David was no longer there. I don't agree. It did become a little bit more wacky, but I think some of the best episodes are after that period. But come on, you gotta give him credit for setting that up and running some amazing seasons. Anyway, those are our garbage people of the week. Unfortunately, the same. It doesn't often happen, but it did. And here are the votes for the community garbage person of the week. 56,000 of you voted. Coming in at number 5 with 4% of the vote, you have James Carville for blaming preachy females for Dems' bad polls. How did that only get 4%? Oh, sorry, that was 4th. The number 5 with 1% was Michelle Morrow for attacking media for reporting her past posts. She advocated for the president to be murdered. 1%? Okay, let's see what drew more attention. Yeah, maybe. Number 3 with 11% of the vote, you have NBC for hiring Ronna McDaniel and then having to backtrack. Your runner-up with 20% of the vote, the right wing for pushing conspiracies on the Baltimore bridge collapse. But by far, your community garbage person of the week with 64% of the vote is the New York Appellate Court for reducing Trump's civil fraud bond. The first story I think we covered this week, that was truly unfortunate. We'll see if he ends up having to pay the full thing. But for now, that's your community garbage person of the week. Thank you to everybody who voted.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.